And, sorry, I'm going to start crying. I'm the first cousin of Mary Morgan Pewitt, and I'm not sure how many of you may or may not be aware, but she was brutally murdered in your city on June 4th, 1988. I have a letter that I would like to read to you from Mary's oldest daughter. Her name is Kyra Allen. Dear Mayor Hancock, I would like to start by introducing myself. My name is Kyra Allen. I'm the oldest daughter of Mary Morgan. Becky Pentland is me. My cousin and I have recently dove headfirst into assisting with my mother's murder investigation in an effort to solve the case. My grandfather, David Morgan, tried with everything in his power before he passed away I promised him that I would pick up the efforts and continue with the cause. While June 4th is just another day for me, my sister and our family suffer a great deal of pain. It is the day that has altered our lives and the day that someone took Mother's life and took her away from our family. Becky and I have requested to have June 4th, 2014 declared Justice for Mary Morgan Day in Comanche in hopes that it would bring the citizens of Comanche together to fight for justice for one of their own. For me personally, it would be a day to celebrate my mother's life instead of mourning her death. It is my understanding that you have personally decided not to represent our request to the town council and have requested that the documents pertaining to the request be removed from the agenda and to be shredded. I am shocked, saddened, and truly dismayed at your singular decision. Why should you not allow the council members to bring this up during discussions and make their recommendations? I would respectfully ask that this question be answered. Was there a procedural error or technical error that could be rectified? We're certainly glad to accommodate any suggestion or correction. Our family and friends long for justice and some resolution to our loss. While it may never come, I fully intend to explore every avenue until all avenues are exhausted. Won't you please take another moment to consider our request and assist us to that end? I look forward to hearing from you and can be reached at the following email, Kyra Allen. And this is addressed to you, Mayor Hancock.
Okay. First of all, today is the first day that I had seen this proclamation, as well as the email that was with it from Becky. If that is you, Becky?
Yes, I'm Becky Pentland.
In a conversation with the city manager on another issue about midweek last week, he said something about a proclamation for a lady that had passed away. And at that time, correct me if I'm wrong, please, I said, I'm not understanding. I don't understand what the proclamation is for. So I didn't know what it was about. I hadn't seen it. And I, as God is my witness, I never would have said shred it. So we didn't know what it was on the agenda. I didn't have the information, so I didn't know. I had asked for it to be discussed with our city attorney, if that was allowable. I didn't know the wording of it. I didn't know if it would come into play that would be harmful to the investigation. So I don't know what.
Well, I have to correct you on that because we sent it into your office in plenty of time. I have copies of the proclamation right here.
I did not know.
These were in, the deadline was on May 7th, and I had these in 2 weeks prior to the deadline. And I sent these in. I called to do follow-up to make sure we had done every single thing proper, everything that was done. It was very well known in everything, in every piece of correspondence.
Maybe it was known internally in City Hall, but I was not aware of it until
then maybe you need to correct your chain of, but it was very well made known from myself and Kyra, her oldest daughter, that what our intentions were to use. I called and asked about what regulations are at City Park to find out if we need to file for any type of permits. And I understand that the park is open for the public, which we will still continue on that, and we will still continue on that event for June the 4th. We wanted to have, on behalf of Mary and in her honor, to have that day declared Justice for Mary Morgan Day. because that is our intent, and provide a place to have come and have potluck with the community, for people to come and meet each other, for her daughters to learn about Mary, even to know. Kyra has even said to me, for the first time, I'm actually really learning about my mom and who she was. She was a very active part of this community. And she's learning this for the first time. This is to be a positive thing, to reflect on Mary's life and to bring attention to her case, so it won't sit on a shelf in the department in Lawton another 7 years without someone even putting a finger on it. Someone out there did this to her, and that person is still walking around. Or maybe possibly maybe they are, being retained somewhere. I don't know. But if they're capable of doing this at one time, they can do something like this again. She was stabbed over 35 times. She wasn't just murdered, she was slaughtered. And in your town by the elementary school. And all we wanted to have was a day to celebrate her life and have you as mayor declare this justice for her, for Mary Morgan Day. That's it. That's all.
I apologize to you and your family. Like I say, I did not know and was not aware of this until late.
Well, what is your, ma'am, we had this in your office 2 weeks prior.
I don't have an office here at City
Well,
Hall.
however you get your letters, when the public, then what happens? I had this information to you well before the deadline.
Not to me.
Oh,
to our administration.
okay, then
and
how?
Staff.
Then where is it laid out on any website as to get it to you directly? That I would think is getting it to the City Hall and then the get it to you, and how it goes. Chain of. I live in Los Angeles. I started driving here on Friday when I found out it wouldn't be on your agenda. I found out early last week it would not be on your agenda. And I asked, please, can we have this on your agenda? And then I was told to wait 24 hours and call back to get your final decision.
Who were you?
I spoke to City Hall. I don't know. I live in Los Angeles. I don't know who all answers the phone at City Hall.
Can you elaborate? Because I'm telling you.
She did not talk to me.
So who in your administration is taking these calls?
I guess she talked to Shirley.
She spoke with me.
And so, fill me in.
I was told not to put it on the agenda. I didn't.
Did you try to contact me personally and give me the information that she had relayed to you?
No, I give it to Will.
She asked me about it being on there, and I didn't have a problem with it. When you asked me about it, I had told you that the girl was murdered. I didn't say she died, but she was murdered in the city. But the issue is, anyway, that's.
I have a copy of the proclamation now. If you would like to if I could present it to your council members, then maybe they can discuss it, or even look at what we were trying to do.
Definitely. Like I said, I received a copy today myself, and I had to request it myself.
And you already have a copy, right? Okay.
I requested it today.
And I don't know if you...
Debbie, do you have anything to elaborate? Because
Well, let me just say
I had
that,
requested
that it's not on the agenda, and so the council can't take action on it.
Ma'am, it was supposed to be on the agenda, and I was told that if I got it in by a certain date, that it would be on the agenda, and then if you guys, as council members, could represent it and either vote yes or no, but it would be up to you guys as representative of the citizens of Comanche, and not a singular decision by your mayor. That's what I was told, that it should be on your agenda. So just like you did with every other thing on your agenda tonight, you said, someone make a motion, someone second it. Who's for? You could have gone, yes, 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 or no, 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 and I would have walked out this door and said, thank you very much for your time, I appreciate it. But the fact that it wasn't even on your agenda, when I got it to plenty of time, well before the deadline, it was there. It was there. And I have emails that have the dates on them. I was told that the deadline was the 7th, and I believe I had it in 10 days to 2 weeks prior to that date to be placed on the agenda for a potential vote tonight. So, yes, ma'am, it was going to be on the agenda, and it was slated to be on the agenda. It was on the agenda, and it was pulled.
It was not on an agenda that I saw.
I had no information. I did not know what the situation was. All I knew was last week when we were talking about the power cost adjustment, and you mentioned that a proclamation for a lady.
She was murdered.
Okay, and I said I'm not familiar with that. Is that something?
Excuse me,
So
but
like I said,
may I ask a
I
question?
did not know
Annabelle?
10 days before that.
You're from Comanche, correct?
I did,
No, let me ask you. You're from
Yes, ma'am.
Comanche, correct? And I believe you attended high school in this town, correct?
let me tell you, I'm not, I am for.
No, but when someone says someone was murdered in this town, I don't think there's been maybe that many murders in this town, especially an unsolved murder. This is the only unsolved murder this city has ever known.
This was our classmate, yours and mine and
I
hers.
know, Lori, I know.
Yours and mine.
Okay, I know.
So when
You
someone
people
says
don't-
to you some woman that was murdered, does that not ring a bell? Oh, maybe that's Mary Morgan. Did that not ring a bell? I mean, if this was
My
a high
thing was,
crime
I did not
area,
know what the proclamation was about.
he said it was about a woman that was murdered. Did you, I'm sorry, Bill, I don't know your last name, I apologize. Did you say it was about a woman that was murdered?
I don't know what to say.
Officer, how many people are murdered in this town?
None that I've known.
Okay,
other than
thank
the
you.
one- Well, yeah.
So we did everything what we were supposed to do. And it was supposed to be here on this agenda for you guys to vote for on this tonight. I don't know, that's for you guys to figure out, maybe what it got along with the water thing, who knows? Whatever happened, I don't know what that's going on with that, but there's some kind of communication, I don't know if it was I'm just saying. Maybe the communication needs to be improved, whatever, but
We've had plenty of discussion on that this week.
But it was there, and it was there in time, and to be placed on the agenda so you guys could vote on this tonight. And I was not supposed to be here. When I found out, I got in my car and I drove straight to here from Los Angeles, and I got in last night. So my question is, when he told you that it was regarding someone that was murdered, who did you think it was about? What did you think it was about?
At the time we were visiting, the conversation, I did not know what the proclamation was about, how it would be written and how it would affect.
Okay, then why would you be not even, if something was going to meet a deadline and be considered, would you as mayor make it your job and your duty to know what the proclamation says before you first deny it?
Debbie,
I want to have
this
these.
is something that we can follow through with.
You can't take action on it at this time, at this meeting, because it's not on the agenda. It has to be placed on the agenda.
So at
A
this,
proclamation would have to be placed on the agenda, because it just simply doesn't meet the requirements of something that's an emergency that came up.
This way,
but just one moment, please. Can I ask a question? The way this proclamation is written, is it going to make a impact on how the case is what am I trying to say? Is it going to be harmful to their case if we do this? Is it going to be harmful for their investigation if we do this? If not,
I can't tell you that it's going to be harmful or that it's going to be helpful. I don't know. I assume that you're looking for the OSBI to reopen the investigation.
They
Is that
have,
what you're looking at?
well, first off, murder cases are never closed. They're always open. But I was given that term by the OSBI that they would consider reopening the investigation if there was enough interest. We have gotten enough interest through our efforts through Facebook, through social media, through change.org, through wonderful people like KSWO for putting our story out there. We've gotten more than enough interest, and we have now been assigned an Agent Sadler from the Lawton OSBI that is now on our case. And your officer here has been more than gracious. I met him this evening to lend the services of the Comanche Police Department and any assistance whatsoever to the OSBI and what they may require or need.
And I have no doubt that there's not a single person on this council or working for the city who wouldn't 100% cooperate and eagerly cooperate with the OSBI.
Correct.
In connection with the investigation.
Right.
There's not any question about that. Now, whether or not this proclamation would make a difference to the OSBI. I just don't know whether it would make a difference or
Well,
not.
if, and like I say, I did not have this information. I apologize for the breakdown that I didn't. I did not know what was in the proclamation. That's why I wanted, and I asked specifically for our city attorney to be given the copy so that they could make sure that it would not be harmful or detrimental to the family and their investigation, because I had not seen a copy. That was the conversation. So I will, since Debbie has said that, and it's not on the agenda, I would ask the council if we could schedule a special meeting because the proclamation is for June 4th, and that's when you want to have your rally.
Yes.
A proclamation, our next council meeting is after the fact.
Correct.
So we could formally accept this proclamation on a special business meeting, and it would be approved at that time before your rally. I never would have ever wanted to harm a family or be disrespectful to a family. I did not have the information, therefore I could not say confidently that it would be something that we could do right away. Now that she doesn't, I don't know, we have to seek legal counsel when we're unsure. That's part of our job.
And I think you would want to make sure, and I'm not saying that there's anything in here that's inaccurate, but you would want to check with your police department to make sure that the facts and the dates and all of that allege are in fact accurate before.
So I hope you understand, and my apologies to the family and to my classmates and friends. I don't know what other to say, but I am very supportive of your family and all families finding justice for this crime. So if that's something that council, we can schedule a meeting. We can do it tomorrow if you're available. I don't care.
Well, you can't do it tomorrow.
Well, I mean 24-hour notice. I'm sorry.
You still have to put it on the agenda.
Just
You have to
figure a
give notice to
speech.
the meeting, you have to post the agenda, so no, you can't do it tomorrow.
Well, figure a speech.
And you may want to, you had another.
Council, do you
matter
have any
might want to.
feelings about this, James?
I'll make a motion to have a special.
At our council meeting.
Just have
Well, it's not really a motion. We will just, after we end this meeting, what we'll do is we will just schedule.
What you may want to do is you had another matter that you were considering, looking at some more candidates for municipal
Have
judge.
the other candidate come back, we talked to her.
On the special meeting,
On Thursday.
that'll
And that
be
might
fine.
affect the date that you could do it.
That'll be fine. As I say, by the advice of the attorney, if this is not detrimental to your family's case, then we have always wanted to be in supportive
Okay.
of the family. I apologize that it's been traumatic for you, thinking I have not intentionally, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I just apologize.
Okay. Are there any questions that I could answer now? Because I do live and work in the Los Angeles area, and I'm in the process of moving myself. And don't know that I would be available to come to the next meeting. And I understand your guidelines of 24 hours. I totally understand that.
Will you be
But I would like to have representatives, TK and Lori, be here to receive the proclamation if it is for our day. And then I would be more than happy right now, as I'm standing here with you, to answer any questions at all about what we were proposing to do on June the 4th, so you know from me if you've had any questions whatsoever that I could answer for you now, or to set your mind at ease, or from our standpoint, if I could answer any questions.
Like I said, the memo that I read today, the email, and it talks about the rally, and I think it's something that will be very helpful to bring it back.
Okay.
I'd like to add that the OSBI did ask for public attention, and
Yes.
Okay, well, see,
and
I did not know
they're
this,
asking for
so-
this in order to put an agent back on the case.
And we have been assigned an agent, and but it's not our intention to quote, like, solve the case or be, on a witch hunt, if somebody was like, well, I know, so no. If anybody has placed any kind of derogatory comments or alluded to the comments on our Facebook page have been immediately deleted. And also any information that we've received privately now that we have an assigned agent, will immediately be turned over to law enforcement and the OSBI. But it's not something that we're trying to go on a witch hunt and take the matters into our own hands and or lend to rumors or innuendos or anything like that. It's nothing but just, we want this solved. We want to get to the bottom of it, and I'm sure you guys don't want anyone in your community, remaining in your community, that is capable of doing something so horrific. And I do accept your apology.
I truly am sorry for the breakdown. Like I say, we've had discussions on communication issues anyway, and sorry. So council will go ahead and get the proclamation read by, if you want to send it to OSBI to just make sure that that is sufficient. Justin, I don't know, our local police, whoever has to do it.
Do we fax it to them, or?
I
don't know
if
that
you
they
just
would
leave
even
me a
take
copy
time
with
to.
it, I'll try to get a hold of that agent.
Can I give you a copy too?
Yeah, and I'll
Okay.
just visit with him and see how his total feelings on it. And I can be here at the.
I mean, we just needed legal advice, just make sure it was not, that's how I felt, because I was not informed, like I said, and didn't know what was in it, so. At this time, we'll go ahead and call a special meeting for Thursday at 5:30.
May 15th.
That's Thursday.
Yes.
Do you,
48 hours.
And we can put it first on the agenda.
is there Wi-Fi capability in this facility so I could
We
attend
could
the
do
meeting
Skype.
via Skype?
We could, correct?
Because I'd very much like to be there, but with my work and moving. But I would love to be able to attend via Skype.
When will you be going back?
I'm just leaving tonight and driving back.
So will you leave your information with Wilt
Absolutely.
on the Skype?
Absolutely.
Okay, and anytime you need to get in touch, just go directly through the city
Okay.
manager.
Okay.
That way there's no room for, it's just straight to him and straight to me, so that's how it should be.
Did any of you guys want to, just, okay.
It happened to block a half from my house, or maybe 2 blocks, and my daughter was in her class also.
I'm sure you know right here how it feels too. Thank you.
Did you send this to, Cheryl, do you have this in a changeable format? This
Yes.
was- Okay.
Well, Cheryl evidently changed it already, because she said she put this and this on it, so that's what she told me today.
All right, because I thought this was not what I saw a few minutes ago. Yeah, but I said, this is the one that I saw.
Okay. So this time we'll move, any other city manager's report, city attorney's report?
No.
Okay, at this time, do we have a motion for adjournment?
I don't need a flash. Okay, I want to count. Count to 3. 1, 2, 3. That's good. I think that worked.
All right, thank you. Publicly, on our petition, that there's been not anyone that has said anything negative or like, well, just let this lie or whatever, but no, everyone's like, Mary needs justice and she needs justice now.
Do you think there might be a reason why people are a little apprehensive about getting involved?
The killer's still out there. And there are killers, they're still out there. So, this is a small community, a small area. They have every right to be afraid just because they're just not knowing. We don't know who did this. It could be anybody.
It could be someone's neighbor, and maybe out of fear that someone that they know, someone that they're related to, or anything like that. They maybe just out of fear for the not knowing, or just afraid for their family or whatever. You just don't know when someone has been this brutally murdered that they could be in fear for their own family by getting involved. Okay. And I can't say that I blame them.
So it feels good to move forward?
Absolutely. This little campfire became a bonfire.
Okay, Mark, you got anything that I'm missing? Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Cool. Awesome.
Are you gonna be back on June